All right. Well, hey, PJ Halloran with the New England Rescue Collaborative and the Rescue Lab podcast. And a little bit ago, we had put out a call for scholarships for our NERC Foundation, which we set up to get people to tech rescue training. And one of those applicants was Corey Floodstrom. And Corey, you're with us today. First, congrats on being selected for tech rescue training. I just want to introduce you to everybody. Tell us a little bit about yourself, your journey in the fire service and tech rescue, and we'll go from there.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate it. Very excited to be here. Very excited to get the scholarship. So I've been in the fire service now for a little over 3 years. I actually was in the Marine Corps prior, so I did 4 years active duty in the Marine Corps. I got out of the Marine Corps and I actually jumped right to the National Guard. So I ended up doing 3 years National Guard. I started off in California and then moved to Massachusetts, where I'm originally from. I loved it. Loved my time in the military. It kind of gave me my foundation. I loved it there. The guys were great. My wife got a job in Boston at the Suffolk County Sheriff's Department. So I was like, you know what? I want to look a little bit more into the city and see so I wanted to get a little bit of a different landscape and kind of see what Metro Boston had to offer. So far it's been amazing. The guys are great. I've been there for almost a year and a half in Belmont. Just a total great bunch of young guys there, and it's just a good environment. One of the guys I work with is very, very, very into tech rescue. So he's kind of been my guide through the whole thing. So, my first 3 years of the fire service, I kind of told myself and a mentor told me, focus on the basics, searching, ladders, hose, just, get the basics down. Once you know the basics, then kind of look into different avenues. I've always been interested in tech rescue and ropes and things like that. I want to start to get involved in tech rescue. And so I was able to take rope operations through the Mass Fire Academy, which was an amazing course. I truly think I have never taken tech rescue class from the academy before that. So I don't know what it was like prior, but from what I've heard, the guys that are instructing now that are there are all great, great, great guys. Mike Cadell and Newton and, Paul Morrison and Cambridge, great, great, great instructors and so many more
Yeah,
guys. So it's
absolutely.
such a good program coming out of there. And we're so lucky to be in Massachusetts where it's free. I was talking to a couple kids in Connecticut and they're like, yeah, we have to pay to go to our academy and train and stuff like that. So it's we're super lucky here to have that. And we're also lucky too, because we have guys like yourself that take the time out to do this and, build something here. 10 years ago, there wasn't many conferences and stuff in Massachusetts, but super excited to get into the tech rescue realm so far. So I'm excited for the future.
I think you bring up a good point in that you took the time to get the base down, and that's actually something that I believe is important in the rescue side, because when it comes to the rescue itself, yeah, there's all this tech rescue stuff, but I mean, your core job is you're a firefighter and you're searching, for victims in inhospitable locations. So to focus on that and be ready to take the next step in the tech rescue is is a very important fact. So what is the opportunity to get training outside of your department and outside the academy mean to you?
It's huge. I'd say, kind of like I said, stemming back to my Marine Corps career, I was always taught, don't necessarily stay within the four walls of this building. You can't base your career off of, what this unit is. So I kind of took that and kind of ran with it, right? So I think a lot of guys get pigeonholed into their department of oh, this is the culture, this is the way we do things. This is it. And then you go outside of your department and you're like, oh, wow, this is completely different. You know what I mean? I've learned stuff from guys that I've never would have thought about would have learned, or just, you go one state over and they're doing something completely different. And then, I think it's huge for me. I have a 3-month-old now and, we have
Oh, nice.
kind of had to get into the dad mode. So I've had to kind of tone down on the conferences, but I try to attend as many as I can. I think my first 2 years, I probably went to, over a dozen
Yeah.
local, out of
No, it's a
state
good
and stuff.
That's a good point. I mean,
Uh,
I think, with having kids, things obviously there'll be dips and and peaks in your journey, but just being able to stay consistent is one of the biggest things in tech rescue. And hopefully, you see that and stick with it. As far as training goes, when it comes to tech rescue, how do you feel that training transfers to being on scene on a call at a tech rescue?
I think it's huge. It's funny, where I work in Belmont, we're kind of sandwiched in between some great departments. You have Cambridge right to the east of us. You have Waltham, Watertown. The kind of the running joke when I first got on was, oh, well, Cambridge will come and help us out. And it's no, that's great and all. They have they have a rescue there. They have capabilities, but we can't just
Yep.
sit there and be like, oh, yeah, this looks really bad. I don't know what I'm doing, so I can't help you. You know what I mean? I think that's kind of
No,
something that guys take into mind. Oh yeah, I don't need it because Cambridge is going to come. Where it's well, what about the day that they're tied up with something and someone else and we have to do something? you know?
That's exactly what I try and sort of tell people is it is good to have backup. And we board at Cambridge, and we're very friendly with Cambridge, and we train with them all the time. And yes, if something big happens, they're going to come, but it's that first 10, 15, 20 minutes where that could make the difference in that rescue. And that's where those skills come in. And I think that is the importance of it. So in that sense, tech rescue wise, or even special ops wise, what is it your department needs more of in general?
You look around the area and see, hey, this is what other departments have had to them. But some people are like, oh, it's never going to happen here until it does happen here. So I think for
Right.
us, just an operation level, like what can we do to start? And like I said, we've had contractors come out and do like a 1 day of con space, but that doesn't get, guys that have never taken rope ops or never touched ropes before besides the academy, you throw them in a con space and nothing's going to happen. You know what I mean? Oh yeah, I know how to set the
Right.
tripod up. I know how to do this, but I think it's just a basic level operations. It's just, I don't think guys really look at it like that. So it's tough to kind of convey it, but it is something that where everyone should have an operational level understanding of this is what our capabilities are.
And even when you do, it's those skills are super perishable, and that continued training is very important. And I know you spoke to, you had some senior guys that maybe were in the tech rescue side, but what sort of drew you to being more interested in technical rescue overall? What did you see in that discipline?
I think that for me, I constantly try to strive to better myself. And I think it's anything in the fire service, like for our department, we're a relatively smaller department. So we kind of rotate from the engine to the ladder truck to to the ambulance. So you kind of have to be good at all your job. You have to understand each position. So for me, I love that ability to have to learn different parts of the job. I think what interests me most about tech rescue is you're never going to become a master at. There's so many different facets of it, rope, con space, high end, like there's so many different facets, water rescue, that you need to know a little bit about everything. But once you dive down the hole, like, you have a guy that's really good at ropes, you have a guy that's really good at swift water, you have a guy that's really good at con space, like, it's really good because then everyone gets together and helps each other out. I think it's the constant
Yeah.
evolution of how can I better myself. You're never going to get to that top where you're like, I am the master at this because something else is going to come out. So I think for me,
Uh,
my mind, idle hands, I'm trying to always better myself. I think that's what drew me to tech rescue is I can always be better in some sort of discipline.
No, I think you hit it right on the head. Is the best part, at least in my book, in working in the tech rescue team environment, is everybody is good at something, and my weakness might be your strength. So that's where that team really sort of blends together, and the best comes out of that. But looking forward to this, and the foundation wise, again, we're very happy to be able to offer the scholarship, and it's something that we're hopefully going to be able to do more of in the coming years. And honestly, we greatly appreciate all those people at the rescue lab that bought stickers, bought patches, because this is what the outcome was, and we're really excited to share this opportunity. So we're going to follow you through your journey. We'll find some training to get you into, and get you matched up, get you some skills, and then we'll get you back on after, see what you learned, and then we'll go from there. How's that sound?
Absolutely. Sounds great. I'm super excited to start the process.
Awesome. Well, hey, just keep the attitude, stay training, never quit, grind it out, and excited to see what comes for you, Corey.
Thank you. I appreciate everything. Seriously.
All right. Hey, and for everyone else, just remember our scholarships will open up again probably in the fall. So if you see that post on Instagram, make sure you spread it around. We want to make sure that this is open to all of New England, and everybody gets an opportunity that wants to train. We're going to get them in a training. So stay tuned to the Rescue Lab podcast and New England Rescue Collaborative. Thanks.